When we first bought Mavala Ranch back in 2017, this was just a piece of wild property. There was no development on it. There was hardly any roads on it. So to me, that represented an unpainted canvas to develop any way we wanted to develop it. But the first thing we had to do was come up with a strategy. What did we want to accomplish? What was our goal, and what strategy would accomplish that goal? And our goal here on Mavala was pretty simple. We wanted to, one, show people what was possible on a low fence ranch to grow big deer. We wanted to show that. That's the reason we bought the ranch originally. Now, our specific management goal was to grow a handful of 170 class bucks each year on 2,150 acres. That's an ambitious goal on a low fence ranch, but that was our goal. We wanted to grow a few top end bucks each year. Now, to do that, we knew that we had to elevate the nutrition far beyond what it currently was. So our nutritional plan was irrigated food plots, 2 30-acre irrigated food plots, and supplemental feeding of whole cotton seed. That's a great machine right there. Just like you would design a subdivision, we laid this thing out. Stands, water, roads, senderos, food plots. We laid it all out before anything was done. It was designed on paper. And we started to creating an infrastructure on the place. Concurrent with that, we began putting in food plots. We carved our food plots out of just pure wilderness brush. Now that is a process. You have to go in and you have to root plow it, root rake it, pile it up, burn it, and then clean it to ag ready, level it to ag ready. We cleared 2 30-acre plots for irrigation. Then we came in and we put in 2 or 3 small attraction plots. So now we had our food plots. This is not the end of the food plot program, this is the beginning. While we're bringing the nutritional plane up, we wanted to bring the deer population down a little bit to kind of meet in the middle, but not by a lot. Our harvest strategy was to put a lot of pressure for the first 3 years on what we call the left-hand side of the bell-shaped curve. In other words, the inferior deer within each age class, and leave the better deer alone to create what we call a prime breeding pool of deer, of quality deer. We wanted a lot of good solid bucks in that 5, 6, 7-year-old age class to do the breeding, which meant we wanted to take out some of the poor deer because the herd is a reflection of the fathers and the grandfathers of that herd. Now, of course, I'm not mentioning the does at this point because we don't have a good way to select that's a good doe, that's a bad doe. We do with bucks because the antlers allow us to do that. But if you're improving the bucks year after year, you're improving the fawns year after year, you're improving the does along the way. So our goal was to keep pressure on the poor quality deer for the first 3 years and then build up this pool of prime breeders in the breeding population that are really good quality deer, so they're throwing good fawns. And then when you move some of those deer through that breeding class, let's say to 8, 7, 8, 9 years old, then we were going to start taking some of those because they're past their breeding prime. We were very excited coming into this season because this is our 3rd year of management and this is a payoff year. This is when the bucks have responded. We have what we call flip the herd. These bucks are bigger and better than they've ever been, and they really jump with the addition of 60 acres of irrigated alfalfa. So we came into this season knowing that we had more big bucks and bigger bucks than we'd ever had before. And one of the first bucks that we targeted this year was a buck that we actually saw for the very first time a year ago on this ranch. And Bobby Parker and I decided that we better go after him soon for 2 reasons. One, he was busted up last year, which is one of the reasons we didn't target him last year. We wanted to get him before he broke up. And 2, having no history on him, we didn't know but what maybe he'd leave the ranch because this is a low fence ranch. So we decided to go after him early. And we finally, after 8.5 days, we caught him at last light. Look at this thing. Is that a monster, monster, monster? What a monster. He scored 185. He's a basic 8. Just an incredible buck, massive, 26 2/8 inside, 32 inches greatest spread. So what a way to start our season here at Mavala Ranch. This deer's got flyers, he's got stickers, he's got fork, and he's got a drop tine.
Yeah.
And what he don't have, you don't need, Bob. I'm telling you. And spread and mass, holy smokes, his mass is unreal.
This frame is just incredible.
Oh, it's just incredible. One of the most impressive bucks that I've ever been a part of. Just a remarkable, remarkable deer. The good thing is, Bobby, this deer will always be unique and special. But there are other big bucks out there.
There's some good ones.
And there's 4 big ones that we know of that are in the 170s that we know of. There's probably more because we keep discovering things here at Mavala.
Yes.
But there's one particular buck that we're going after that we're still trying to get. He's a big typical 12. He's a book class deer. He's a dandy. So in our 3rd year of management, the 4th year of owning the ranch, we are now seeing the payoff that we thought we would see when we first started this program. We just can't wait to see what 2 or 3 or 4 years of irrigated alfalfa in combination with our harvest strategy and in combination with our supplemental feeding of cottonseed is going to do here. A low fence ranch. We do have good neighbors. They don't put a lot of pressure on them, so we're able to keep that age structure up. But Mavala Ranch promises to be one incredibly special low fence ranch here in South Texas where we're growing absolute giants. We're back on Mavala Ranch, our first afternoon here, but we've got 3 or 4 days here that Bobby Parker and I are just going to be hunting for the outright sheer fun of it. We're going to see what we can find. We got some old bucks on this place we call post prime. That's our primary target. We're looking for some of those. Some of them are pretty good. During this late rut and certainly during the post rut, you'll have bucks that show up but you have no idea where they come from. They haven't, have they been here or not been here, you don't know. Now the flip side of that is you'll also have some bucks that you typically would expect to see that have gone, they've moved. So this time of year is full of surprises. You never know what may show up. New bucks may be here and bucks you expect to see may be gone, but that's the fun of whitetail hunting. There's a mystery component to it here on Mavala Ranch. So we started our hunt on that first afternoon. Bobby and Risa Parker were here, and Risa was hunting a buck that is a very post-prime buck. This buck's probably 8 or 9 years old. We called him the Wide 9 up until this year when he dropped his G4 on one side. Now he's the Wide 8. About 24 inside, just a stud. This year he slipped a little bit because of his age. And Bobby and Risa were after him, and so we were going after the Big 10. Well, that first afternoon, we got a call from Bobby and Risa that they had shot a deer. We went over then, kind of cut our hunt short. It turned out that they had shot a cull buck, and I didn't realize that, or I wouldn't have ended my hunt, but we came over and we did some celebrating with them and had a nice evening. Watched the sunset, just enjoyed the beauty of South Texas in January. Perfect weather, cold, crisp, high blue skies, couldn't have been better. So the second morning we went back out, we decided to change venues a little bit. And I will tell you, I had very high expectations that morning. I thought we'd see a lot of good bucks there. I've seen it like a zoo down there at times. But we didn't see a whole lot that morning. We saw quite a few does, which you would expect, and we saw 2 or 3 young and intermediate bucks. Kind of in a transition period right now, but we're gonna keep trying. There's some deer around. We see some does down here, some does over here too. There's a little buck that just moved through here. So there's a few deer moving, but hopefully as it warms up and the sun gets up, we'll see some more. But we just did not see any really good bucks. And I was frankly kind of disappointed. As the morning wound down, there was still some does kind of lingering around, and I decided to go ahead and take a couple of does. Well, we wrapped our morning up here by shooting a couple of does. We still Our target this year here on Mavala is to shoot 60 does, and we're about at 50 now. We got 10 more to go, and we'll take them in and get them cleaned up. And you know, being a hunter, that's still pretty exciting hunting. It's fun. I mean, I have to admit, once I decide that's the animal I'm gonna take, then the excitement level goes up. I'm just telling you, I don't care if it's a doe or a 12-point buck. To me, that represented a very good morning. We had action, we had fun, we were hunting, we had a good time. We're taking deer that are a byproduct of our management program. They help the ranch, and we had people that were asking for deer. They wanted deer to eat here. Off we go. Well, we're going out this afternoon. We've had a great hunt. We've seen a ton of deer, but we haven't found the buck that I'm looking for yet. I'm looking for a big 10, an old 10. He's at least 8, he may be 9, he may be 10. This thing is ancient. With the rut winding down like it is, these bucks are tired and they're hungry. And so the hot setup right now is these food plots. So let's see what turns up this afternoon. Something will show up of interest, I have a feeling. You'll find out when I find out. So we went out back to the South Mott again, which is a money place. I mean, if you're going to see deer, you're going to see them there. And we set up, and it wasn't long at all before we started seeing deer. There's deer here, deer there, young bucks, good buck over here. So we're sitting there looking, and all of a sudden, we see a deer come out that is unmistakable. It is the wide 8, and he comes straight to us. He comes in, he chases does around, he puts on a show, and he comes straight to us, and we get as good a look at that wide 8 as you want. He's 100 yards away, and I'm gonna tell you, my trigger finger started itching a little bit then, because this is a heck of a buck. But Risa wants to shoot him. I hope she can get him, because that is a trophy. I'm telling you, where do you see 24-inch inside 150 Class H? That is a trophy anywhere. This deer is a stud. And so while we're sitting there watching the show going on, there's other bucks coming in. I mean, business is picking up on the South Mott. And so, and I turn around, and on the pipeline coming in to this South Mott and into the food plot, we got our buck. Our buck's back on us here. The buck I'm after has now stepped out. He's the one on the left, that's the one with his head up. I'm getting in position for a shot. Now all I've got to do, I'm propped up, I'm resting. He's kind of in amongst those other deer, so I got to let him clear. And then I decided to whistle to get him to raise his head, which gives you a better target. But the problem is, I whistled, and all 3 of the other deer went on red alert, but he didn't. And I'm afraid they're about to break now, and I've got to shoot him. Everybody's up at him. He finally lifted his head, and when he did, he gave me the shot. There you go, ready? We have just shot the old 10 that I have been after the whole time here on Mavala. And we just shot him. We just shot him with our 6.5 PRC. Whew. I never get tired of the excitement of when it finally comes together. Holy smokes, that's a beautiful deer. Man, he's pretty. And he's old, that's what I like about him. He's an old buck. We need to get in there, it's getting dark. Let's get down there and get our hands on him and enjoy him a minute. We'll come back and gather our paraphernalia. He didn't go anywhere. That's a beauty. That's a
doggy, David.
I'm telling you.
Man.
I'm telling you, he was dead good. Boy, look at that.
Look at that.
Is that a gorgeous deer or what?
That is
Look at that.
Beautiful deer.
Oh my goodness.
I just saw him. I went, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But I did smell that.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I smell that guy.
Oh, you did? Really?
Yes, I did.
That's awesome, Bobby. Look at the mass too. He's heavy. Good, and he's got those. Oh man. Oh, I love it. Just perfect. This deer was better than I thought. He was a stud and absolutely gorgeous, big, mature 10, 8 or 9 years old. I mean, this is the kind of buck I love to hunt, an old post-prime buck, but this thing was a piece of art. He was just absolutely beautiful. And Bobby's nose saved us all here because he did smell him out.
I did. I smelled the dead deer. And I said, he's around here somewhere. Isn't that great? Well, I was happy for all of us, you included, all of us. Man, it's great to recover that beautiful deer too.
I tell you, Bobby, Mavala rocks. I don't mean to tell you.
I have to agree with you.
That field was full of deer.
This ranch is just, yeah, our 4th season, it's just doing great. 3rd season with the management of food, this is great.
Not one thing on him broken. Look at that. Gee. Chocolate, man, he got that chocolate look, doesn't he? Oh, he's an old booger. Look at the head on him. I love him. Wow. Thank you, old buddy. I'm telling you. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you.
David, glad to help.
Well,
man.
you did a fantastic job. I am tickled to death. My goodness.
Oh man.
Now we got to find the road. It's not far, but I'm not sure which direction it is.
Back here somewhere.
Shortly after returning home from the hunt, David and Bobby got a Reconyx photo of the big 12 Bobby has been after, so they immediately returned to the ranch. On the first afternoon of the hunt, the giant buck appears on the edge of the food plot.
You're on him?
Yeah, shoot.
Did you hit?
You hit him, you hit him.
Watch him.
It just happened. I'm a witness to it, and so is that camera. Holy smokes, unbelievable.
It did happen.
Unbelievable. What a, look at this thing.
I gotta look at him. Oh my gosh. This just doesn't supposed to happen this way.
He is a giant.
Laying here just off the food plot. Look at this guy. Not only would be happy, I'm just stunned. I'm literally stunned.
Well, we can safely say now this is the best year you've ever had, isn't it, Bobby?
Yes, ever. And I've hunted for 60-some years.
60-something years. Me and Bobby have been hunting them together for 40 years.
Yeah, we have.
Nearly 35.
Nothing like this happens.
People say you can't grow big deer on low fence.
Yes, sir, here we are.
I think they might be wrong. The whole management plan on Mavala was to show people what's possible on low fence.
Yeah, and here we are.
You got a 185 basic 8, and this thing's just a giant. I'm telling you, just a giant.
Low fence and food plot.
Low fence and food plot. Thank you, Lord. Let's load him up and go to the house.
Let's do it.